Hello and welcome to Dattly, the mini data transformer, and I'm just going to lead you around the how to use the tools that are available in Dattly and how to navigate the interface. Remember, we're really in beta testing mode at the moment, so there's a lot of things that don't work particularly well yet, but I will also explain how we plan to move ahead and how we plan to really make this a research tool in psychology. So the first thing we'll look at is mouse tracking. And this is simply, I'll show in a second, it's simply tracking the participant's mouse movements to either good or bad, depending on the images presented or words presented. The code here is the code that the participant would submit if you're, let's say, running this on Mechanical Turk or online, right, into the Qualtrics survey so that you can match their Qualtrics survey with their performance or their scores or their mouse movements in particular for this task. Now the participant would be told to enter the name of the file you're using. So let's say I'm using, I told my participants that they should enter video demo. And the dog, the cute puppies, it's obviously very cute, so it's positive, and so is food. And so are these other images, actually. For these, they're all positive images for the example. Now, the cool thing is we can go to Dattly, the mouse tracking. This is a visualization of literally what I just did. So we can go video demo.csv. And let's say we look at, I think the food is the second one. And there's me. Now, I actually, which is kind of funny, I've used this, I've used video demo.csv as the file that I stored the data in already once. So this is me from before. I did it a couple minutes ago to test it out. And the blue one is the one I just did, and I can actually tell by remembering the participant ID I just had. But this is the movement that I went. It's actually kind of funny that it's very similar, so apparently I'm quite consistent. So we can look at that. So we're going to skip the competition game for a second and look at priming. And priming is pretty much the same thing as the mouse tracking, but the images are presented at a very fast pace so that you can't really consciously recognize them. And the idea of combining priming and mouse tracking is a very cool idea because not only are the stimuli presented implicitly, the responses of the participant are also implicit, which is a great way to combine these things. So you have the same prompt. And let's say for video.csv, and we always have to end with .csv because that's the type of file it's stored in. We can see our code is 3903, and the images flash relatively quickly, so we can't see them. But I know they're good because they're the same images from before. And again, there's 5 images. Now you can change this later and all these types of things. And again, we can visualize that. So for video.csv, and let's say food again, and there's me. There's how I moved rather quickly on that one. But of course, these are other things we'll touch up to have more data points in between. And ultimately, so those data points are stored in a file that we can download. So, for example, let's look at the one that I just completed. So for video.csv, which is what we're going to download, and we can download our file. And now we actually have all the data. So that was just me. That's the code I had. And these are each of the runs. So that's run 1, run 2, run 3, run 4, and 5. And that's the code on the left. And each one of these are x, y coordinates. And so ultimately, I plan to design an algorithm that will calculate a parabola, so like a parabola function, a score for each participant, how quickly and how, and what parabola arc that participant moved towards, either good or bad on the sides. And those labels can be changed, ultimately. And then each participant will have a score, and then that can be compared. And also this data can be brought into SPSS because it's in comma delimited format. Alright. Comma separated. Okay, so we'll go back to Dattly and show an example of actually when I presented this work I had an audience and I asked the audience to go through the priming, and we only had negative images that flashed. And we asked the audience to use the file demo1.csv. And so let's look at 3, for example. And this is how people responded. Now, this is really cool because not only can I see each participant, I could actually match them up with the parabola score, right? So I can match up their code in the visualization. But most people actually went towards bad. Now, bad was on the right, in case you've forgotten. And most people went towards the bad side, despite not consciously recognizing what the images were. So we asked the audience, and no one seemed to know. Maybe they were shy in responding, but we also plan to have the images flash a tiny bit faster, so that we really get under the threshold for what is acceptable in subliminal time. Okay, to go to the competition game. Now, the competition game is a similar way to start. So let's say, let's probably not name it the same thing. Testing video CSV. And we're going to be catching this little guy. Now again, the things can be changed. So the images can be changed, the little guy can be changed, right? The background can be changed, the amount of time it runs can be changed. These are all kind of things that would be personalized. And now again, we could download that file. I think it was testing video, so we can look at that. Testing video.csv. And we download that file, we can look at it. And actually, that was me just now, right? I caught 2 of the little guys running, and I missed 1, and that was my code. Now you can match that up, right, with my responses in a Qualtrics survey or some other kind of survey. The memory game is something recently started working on. It's a test in CSV, and that has yet to record data, but we're working on that. And basically, it's just matching things. Facebook is there. And we could, for example, see how long it takes for somebody to finish that time, so, something like that. That's pretty much all the tools so far. So the settings is so ultimately we want that each researcher can log in and kind of have their own unique version of Dattly, where they can change things, and that would be done by uploading a simple settings text file that includes the names of the images used in mouse tracking, the number of images, the background, whether the colors change, like we have it by default or not, the competition game, the images, what's chasing what, if the counter is displayed in the middle, all these kind of things. There would be a long settings file that one could really make unique and specific for what you are trying to research and what you're trying to look for. You'd also be able to change the names of these items, because obviously you don't want your participants to know that, I don't know, it's the competition game or whatever. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to share that with everyone, and hopefully to really use it in experiments. So recently I actually used the competition game and had it as a Pac-Man in an experiment investigating the difference between competitive and non-competitive people on competitive tasks, and what role self-presentation plays in that relationship. Thank you so much for listening, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at ag166@nyu.edu. Thank you so much, and I hope that was clear. And again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.